Hello everyone, this is ICBC here, and today I just want to sit down and talk a bit more about the upcoming Steam machine and basically compare it to the PS5 Pro and Xbox Series X. In my last video, I claimed that the upcoming Steam machine will definitely take a big portion of the market from the Xbox, but yeah, now we just have a bit more statistics to go on and we can do a bit better predictions than I was able to in my last video. And before you think that I'm being lazy by using Grok to get all of this information, no, I know most of these things already. I'm just, using Grok so I can have all the information in one smooth place so that I don't have to go and cycle through different tabs on my browser. And Grok is just basically confirming most of what I already know about. So the upcoming Steam machine is going to have a custom AMD 6 core 12 thread. So basically they're just doing their own custom AMD GPU. It means nothing to me. These are all just numbers. What matters is that how it basically compares to PS5 Pro and Xbox Series X. So well, the important thing is that we also discussed the pricing. There are some predictions going around. The last time I didn't really consider one important factor, that is that PlayStation claims that it sells its PlayStations under a loss. Like they sell it for less price than they actually spent manufacturing it, and their claim is that they make up for that loss when they're selling games on their store. I don't know if that's true anymore because they've been raising the price of their console quite a lot. I was surprised to see that PS5 Pro costs $700 and Series X costs $500. So yeah, the predictions for the upcoming Steam machine are, in right around this ballpark area. So Steam basically said that we can't really tell what the price is going to be due to the shifting market prices and also the tariffs. So they're not really giving us a solid number, but they're saying that it is going to be affordable and also, competitive with other PCs. So they're using the word PC. So if we take a look at all of these specifications, we can get a PC that costs around like $500-ish. So a lot of people are saying that it is going to cost around this much. It depends on what storage that you're getting. If you're getting like a 1 TB storage, it's probably going to cost a bit more. So over here it's saying that YouTubers predictions are that it's going to cost around $800 to $1,000 if you're getting a higher end 2 terabyte version. Another thing to note about the upcoming Steam machine is that it's also going to have upgradable RAM and storage, so that's really nice. I don't know if Xbox Series X and PS5 Pro they have the capability to do that, but the way you get that customization option for a Steam machine is very nice. Although I would have preferred if you had a bit more customization options, like you could also upgrade the CPU and the GPU in the future, but unfortunately that is not an option. But upgrading your RAM and storage is also really nice. Over here we have a chart that compares Steam machine with PS5 Pro and Xbox Series X, and the price is also really important to keep in mind. Xbox has like $500 price point and PS5 has $700 price point, and PS5 is still dominating even with its like higher price point. I guess it just has a better product. At the end of the day, it has better games, so if people are just going for a PS5 rather than Series X, even though it's respectively cheaper than PS5 Pro, and I think that it just provides better hardware. So I don't know if Xbox recently said that their strategy for the future is that they're going to be making $1,000 Xbox, and basically it's just going to have a much better hardware. I don't know if that's going to be a selling point, because the way I see it, like they already have a really good hardware. I think it's better than PlayStation, but it's still not doing that well. So I guess it just all comes down to the games, like literally the product that you're going to be playing on your Xbox. Because if you don't have good games, then your Xbox is basically a box, like you can't really do anything with it. But the thing that we want to look at is this, like basically it's going to have like RAM is going to be 16 gigs, and this was something that people pointed out in my last video. They were saying that this is not viable, 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So they're saying that this is not good. Like I agree, like 8 gigabytes of VRAM is not really viable for most AAA gaming. And then we have our chat Xbox Series X, and it just doesn't even need to say that it's going to need an upscale. Like it just natively targets 4K at 60 FPS, which is just amazing. But I'm still, surprised that Xbox Series X is not doing so well, even though I do think that it's a much better hardware. But then again, like it just all, like I said before, comes down to games. Like you need to have a better product. It doesn't matter what hardware you're playing on. It's the game that you're playing and how well it's playing. So yeah, everything just comes down to this. Steam Machine is definitely not as powerful as PS5 Pro. More powerful, at least that's what I've heard online in videos. It is more powerful than a PS5, but less powerful than Pro version. And obviously I think that this is Steam Machine is much less powerful than Xbox Series X, and people are making comparison, and rightfully so. Like they're saying that if if Valve is going to release a product, why are they releasing a less powerful machine? And my argument to that is that what about Steam Deck? Steam Deck is not that powerful, but regardless, it is dominating the market. There are far more powerful handhelds out there, yet people most of the time just go for a Steam Deck. I do think that if the price point of the Steam Machine is going to be at around like $500-$600 maximum, I hope that's the case. Then I do see a lot of people going for a Steam Machine. And like with Steam coming into the market, I don't think that it's going to immediately dominate the market. Xbox does have a strong fan following. People support Xbox, they want to buy it. The whole war of a PS5 and Xbox, like that's going to continue for a while longer. I'm not saying that Steam Machine is going to come out and it's going to immediately dominate the console markets, but who knows? Like with things like this, you never really know. But the strategy that I'm seeing for Xbox, it's really concerning. I really don't know if $1,000 console is going to sell that well, just because it's going to have better performance. I don't really know if the average player is going to be concerned that much with the hardware and what's inside it and how well it runs the game. I think most average people just want to hit the on button and start playing the pretty little graphics, and that's all most people cares about. But yeah, at the end of the day, when it comes to performance, a lot of people are comparing Steam Machine to PS5 and Xbox Series X, which is fair. But I think that Steam Machine is setting their own precedents, their own standard for the quality that they can get for a certain price point that they think is valid for a console. Because everything just comes down to the average consumer and what they think is viable or what they think is fair to pay for a machine that's going to play games for them. And I think a lot of people are willing to pay an average of $500-ish for their console, their favorite consoles. And I think Steam Machine is just tapping that market really well, and Xbox is moving away from it. Again, I can't really emphasize the fact that I really don't know how things are going to work out, but I have serious doubts about Xbox's future strategy about making a $1,000 to $1,200 console. I don't know if that's a good idea. Although I think that PS5 will persist, they have a strong product. People will still buy the PS6 and it's going to continue on. But when it comes to Steam Machine, I am excited. A lot of people in my last video were commenting and saying that this is basically a computer. Like, I don't see it as a computer. I think people should consider it as a console that is capable of doing more. So if you want to run other softwares like Blender, Photoshop, not maybe not Photoshop, but any other designing software you want, you can technically do that on a Steam machine. But Steam machine basically just offers far more. Like, it's basically a desktop, but I think a lot of people are going to be primarily using it as a console. I have a Steam Deck and I primarily use it for gaming. I don't use its desktop mode too much. It's there, but most of the time, like 99% of the time, I am using the gaming mode. So I think that's what people are going to be doing with the Steam machine as well. They're just going to be primarily using it for gaming, and then there are going to be other people like some YouTubers who need a compact, system for playing games and then editing their videos. I think it's going to be a decent machine for those guys who need a cheaper PC that they can use to make videos, edit them, or upload them. It offers a lot of options. You can also play games on it. Yeah, I think that's going to be a minority that uses Steam Machine for a computer replacement, but I think people need to consider Steam Machine as a console because that's its primary purpose. And the reason why I've been ranting about this thing for so long is because a lot of people in my comment section of my last video were saying that it's a mini PC. I think that it's a console and it should be considered as one primarily. Yes, you can use it as a desktop, but I think that's going to be a minority. But then again, future remains to be unseen. Maybe I'll be surprised. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, it's time for a goodbye.